Hi there, this is Solitary Ronan from Solitary Ronan Films, and welcome to another random review. Today's random review is from 2001. It comes from Korea, and it's called A Bungee Jumping of Their Own. It might be slightly lost in translation. It's either a bungee jumping of their own or a bungee jump of their own. It stars the wonderful Byung-hun Lee and Yoon-joo Lee, directed by Dae-sung Kim. This is one of my Nova Media winter sale pickups, and the only reason I bought it was for Byung-hun Lee. There he is, the legend himself. This is a fascinating film. This is an all-region Nova Media, so no matter where you are in the world, you should be able to enjoy more Byung-hun Lee. This starts in 1983. Some of us remember it very well. What a year. And Byung-hun Lee is at school. He is supposed to be like an awkward teenager. I think it's more college, to be fair. He's awkward amongst girls, which is probably one of the most preposterous things in the film. He's Byung-hun Lee, and he falls for the woman on the cover, who, forgive me if I can't remember her name. This is about Byung-hun Lee, and they fall in love, I think that's what it's called, and they agree to meet up and go away together, but while Byung-hun Lee is waiting at the station, the girl never turns up, and we fast forward 17 years, and he's still haunted by his one true love, even though he's married with, I'm not quite sure in children's ages, maybe a 3-year-old little girl. So he has kind of moved on enough to get married and have a kid, but he's still kind of haunted by the one that got away, essentially, or the one that never turned up. But then something weird starts happening in his class. He's a teacher. He's a language teacher, and it's a specific question that she asks before they part and never see each other again, that one of his male students, he teaches an all male class, that asks the exact same question, and it kind of startles Byung-hun Lee, and he starts getting fixated on this male student. Now obviously I'm not sure how gay rights in Korea have improved or since 2001, but obviously rumours start going around the school. Both the boy and Byung-hun Lee get rather nasty homophobic slurs written about them, told to their face. They get lots of abuse. Obviously the student is somewhat perturbed by Byung-hun Lee's attention. Byung-hun Lee is obviously confused by what's going on, because he starts convincing himself that the male student is actually this girl. There's a scene early on in the film involving a cliff, which I won't go into, and again she says something, so he starts being convinced that the male student is actually his long lost love. But obviously that's quite difficult to explain, and when you're obsessing about a male student when you're a teacher, obviously problems can arise, He eventually loses his job, not surprisingly, and I'm not really going to tell any more about the plot. But this is one of those films that, if it wasn't Byung-Hun Lee, and because he's magnificent, there's even a joke where he follows her to her art class or sculpting class that he's not even a member of, and the teacher ends up going, study his face, because his face is symmetrical and perfect. The kind of first stage of the film where he's supposed to be like a bit of a dork and not comfortable around women, and then the sculpting teacher's like, yeah, look, study his face because it's perfect. It's almost like an in-joke, but I think it only works because of Byung-Hun Lee's performance. It's a brilliant performance because he does kind of haunted, regretful, almost ghost-like characters really well. He does like empty shell characters really well. I mean, obviously he can do just about everything really well. He can do villains well as well. I think I've said well. I went to the well far too many times. But it's his performance as this guy who thinks he's seeing his long lost love in this male student, and he's having difficulty processing that. It's a great performance by him, and I'm not just saying that just because he's awesome. And I'm not sure if too many other actors could get away with it. I mean, it is obviously a film about kind of accepting homosexuals. Again, I don't know what the Korean situation is for homosexuals living in Korea. Probably can guess about North Korea. So it is this idea of, what do you do if you can somehow see your long lost love in somebody who's the same sex as you? I mean, he goes to therapy and for advice, and am I turning gay or whatever? And again, I suppose some people might view that as problematic. You can't just turn gay. But obviously he's confused and he's looking for answers, so you can kind of understand it from that perspective. I mean, I think the doctor or the psychiatrist just says, oh yeah, well, it's just a phase you're going through, it's perfectly normal. So it kind of starts off as this kind of uncomfortable kind of rom-com, but it does then go into kind of darker areas and is about much more than just a long lost love story, which is probably why I enjoyed it so much. Does it work completely? Perhaps not, but again, for 2001, I think it's actually quite a brave film as well. Again, you can fill me in the comments if you know about what it is to be a homosexual in Korea in 2001 and 2025. But this is just a really wonderful film. I think it's about 108 minutes, something like that. But because it's Byung-Hun Lee, you're riveted, you're hooked in immediately. There's a great scene involving an umbrella. Tremendous stuff. Well worth checking out if you can. If you're a Byung-Hun Lee fan, it's a guarantee that you should pick it up. The extras, which are in Korean, and they don't have subtitles, they do have English subtitles for the film. There's an interview with the director, if you understand Korean. Dae-Sung Kim, looking at Letterboxd, he's made about 5 or 6 films. So I might have to see if I can find any more of them. But yeah, a bungee jumping of their own, which perhaps is a strange title, but you'll have to watch the film to figure that out. Yeah, a lovely little surprise from Nova Media, and again, another reason why I do buy blind buys, you know, if it's a director or an actor that I like, because every now and again you get a little gem. It's funny because there was another film I picked up in the Nova Media winter sale called Holiday, which is a Korean crime drama based on a true story about guys who are locked up for the Seoul Olympics, and then they break out and try and exact revenge on specifically one officer who put them away. And again, it's a fine film, you know, it's good, it's solid, but I did find myself, maybe I'm a little bit of fatigue with Korean crime films, because they're all kind of generic, and obviously we know the ones that stand out, but there's a lot of kind of generic Korean crime dramas. So this was a lovely little breath of fresh air, so I would highly recommend it if you can find it somewhere. So thanks very much for watching this random review of a bungee jumping of their own, or bungee jumping of their own, or a bungee jump of their own. Yeah, the Korean title probably makes more sense. So this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying thanks very much for watching, and your continued support is appreciated, because my channel is a niche of 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 a niche. And I hope you'll join me again. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying farewell.